I was always the person who believed that the dishwasher was just a fancy sanitizer, and that if you put dishes that look like this inside of it, they'd pretty much come out looking the same as they went in. Turns out, I'm wrong. I figured out how to take these dishes and make them look like this with no hand washing whatsoever using only my dishwasher. I'm Anthony with Queer Efficiency, and I'm excited to tell you how I did it. Tell me if this sounds like you. You wash all the dishes in your sink, hand wash, soap and water with a scrub brush, anything. I have like 3 scrub brushes sitting on my sink. Wash all of them until they're pretty clean, load the dishwasher with those dishes, and then let the dishwasher do its thing. That was the way that I did things forever. I grew up, that's how my mom did it, that's how she taught me. The idea was that the dishwasher wouldn't really get things clean and that you had to really get them fully clean in the sink, and then the dishwasher would do the kind of sanitizing bit. As Facebook does, it serves up all kinds of efficiency videos for me, and a couple of them were Renee, the appliance repair tech. She's great. Go check her out if you haven't ever heard of her before. Facebook served me a couple of her videos, and after watching them, kind of completely changed how I handle doing my dishes. I watched her videos, and I also watched a pretty long video by Technology Connections. All the links to these videos will be in the description, by the way. I watched those videos, and then I started doing some testing. So let's take a closer look at those dishes I showed you in the beginning. The first one I'm going to show you here, this is a plate that had gravy and chicken and things on it. This is how it went in, and this is how it came out. The second one is kind of a curved plate that I had Asian chicken on. It had like a barbecue teriyaki chicken from Trader Joe's on it and some rice. And this is how it went in, and this is how it came out. The third is a pan from when I cooked all that stuff. It had mushrooms and things in it and sauce, and this is how it went in, and this is how it came out. And last, and I think most impressive, this is a pan that had macaroni and cheese in it. And you know how that cheese sauce kind of cakes onto a pan, right? This one, I made the mac and cheese. I scraped the food out like you're supposed to do, we'll talk about, put this in the dishwasher, and I think it sat for 2 or 3 days in the dishwasher. And this is how it came out on the right. I'm telling you, this stuff works and it blows my mind. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you kind of an overview of how dishwashers work. I'm just going to give you the bits and pieces, and then I'll tie them all up in a minute. So dishwashers have, in general, a pre-wash and a main wash cycle. The pre-wash, where the dishwasher sprays with water and tries to get most of the stuff off. The main wash is where it does all of its stuff. Then, most dishwashers also have what's known as a turbidity sensor. This sensor, also called a soil sensor, is what the dishwasher uses to determine how cloudy the water is that's running in it. A third thing is that most dishwashers in the United States, according to Renee, don't actually heat the water, but are designed more to maintain the water's temperature. The dishwashers in the US are hooked up to the hot water line from your sink, and they pull in the temperature of the water from the line of your sink. And then one other thing to know is that dishwashers use detergent, and that detergent's job is using the ingredients that are included in it plus hot water. Those things together help break down the food particles on your dishes. All right, so the lessons that I took away from those tips about dishwashers and detergent are, first, your dishwasher likely has a detergent area, either a cup or a little well, for the pre-wash cycle. Most people don't do anything with this, especially if you use pods. I use pods. You still can. I kind of use a hybrid now, but you're losing half of the efficiency of your dishwasher if you're not putting detergent in the pre-wash, because you're just getting water. If you add detergent to the pre-wash cup, you add detergent to that entire cycle, which means you're going to have that detergent there to break down the food and make it even more effective than just spraying with water. So the first tip is add detergent to that pre-wash area. Mine is just a little well, but some have a separate cup. The next thing, and this is probably the most impactful thing for me, is that the detergent requires hot water. But if you, like me, when you go to run your sink, if you turn it on hot and you have to stand there and wait for 20, 30 seconds before the hot water actually comes out, your dishwasher is hooked up to the same line. So if your water has been running on cold or hasn't been warmed up at all, it's pulling in that lukewarm, cold water potentially into the dishwasher, and it's running using that, because the dishwashers here in the US are really only made to maintain the current temperature. So the thing that I learned was run the hot water on your sink just until it gets hot, and then your dishwasher will pull the water at the correct temperature, thereby aiding your detergent and helping it do its job to actually break down the food particles on your dishes. So one of the lessons that I took away was scrape leftover food off my dishes. Don't rinse them in the sink. You saw those dishes, how they went in and how they came out. Scrape them into the trash and then just load them in there with food caked on, just like that. You gotta take a leap of faith the first time you try it. I didn't buy it. I was like adding oatmeal, caked pans, mac and cheese. I'm telling you, this stuff works. All of this, of course, is assuming that you load the dishwasher correctly. To borrow from Renee, dirty parts face clean parts in the dishwasher. So you've got spray arms. Make sure that the dirty parts are facing the spray arms so they're able to get the water and the detergent sprayed at them so they can get clean. One way I had to kind of change the way I think about this is to assume that the dishwasher would do its job rather than that it wouldn't do its job. If you assume that it's not going to do its job and you hand wash every single dish, you're by default having to spend time doing that for every single one. But if you flip the paradigm and follow the key steps that I laid out a minute ago, by assuming that the dishwasher would do its job, let's say a few come out dirty. That means that rather than having to wash the entire load by hand, you just wash those couple that come out dirty and you're way ahead. There's one more thing I wanted to point out because I think some people have this misconception, and I certainly did before I started watching these videos, that dishwashers use way more water than hand washing your dishes. That's actually really false by quite a significant margin. I looked up the stats for my machine, and I live in an apartment with a really old dishwasher. Even with this old dishwasher, it uses about 6 gallons per wash to clean all of the dishes that are in there. A full load or 2 dishes in there, it's using about 6 gallons, depending. It changes on the cycle I choose, but on average, it's about 6. Most sinks in the United States run at about 1.5 to 2.5 gallons per minute. That's according to Renee. I grabbed her stat. So let's just assume that they're running at about 2 gallons a minute. If that's the case, then the amount of time that I would have to wash the entire load that could fit in my dishwasher is 3 minutes. That's when the dishwasher starts outperforming. So if you think that you can wash an entire dishwasher's load of dishes in 3 minutes, more power to you, because I certainly cannot. And I know for a fact now that my dishwasher is saving water and saving me time. So I'm fully sold on this. I've switched over completely. For my setup, I actually switched fully to liquid, but I learned that I was over adding detergent because my dishes, especially on the top, were coming out kind of grainy. And I learned that that was from too much detergent. So what I found was I already had the pods and then I switched to liquid. So I resumed using pods in my main cup. And then I got cheap dishwasher liquid from Aldi, the $5 stuff. And I just used that for my pre-wash. When the Kirkland pods run out, I might go back to using only liquid, but just cut it way down. I'm going to test that. Otherwise, I'll just toss a pod in and add a little pre-wash detergent and call it a day. That's been working for me. I have an old model because I live in an apartment and they're not buying high-end stuff for me. I don't even have a top spray arm. Mine is only on the bottom. And my dishes still come out looking like I showed you. So just to recap really fast, remember, scrape your dishes, don't rinse them. Load your dishwasher correctly. Start your water first for about 20-30 seconds from your sink until it's hot. Add the right amount of detergent to the cup and add detergent to the pre-wash. And then remember to assume that your dishwasher is going to do its job. If you do those things, I am so certain, especially if you've got anything more modern than this thing that's probably 15 years old, I don't even know by GE. If you've got anything more modern, you're going to be ahead of me because you'll have at least a top spray arm. And I'm guessing that you will find this to be significantly more efficient than what you've been doing currently. So let me know what you think and let me know how it works in the comments. And if you found anything in this video helpful, hit the like button. It really helps me out. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me and I look forward to chatting with you in the next video.